In this week's episode of One Piece, Wanda tells the Straw Hat Pirates the terrible story of how the Mink Tribe's kingdom was destroyed by the merciless and gargantuan mammoth, Jack the Drought. Before I go any further into my review, I just want to let you guys know that I am reviewing the third season of Star Wars Rebels, which is a really awesome and kick-ass Star Wars cartoon that any fan of the Star Wars universe should definitely check out. So if you guys would like to see that review, check out the link in the description box below. May the Force be with you, and now back to One Piece. Thanks for that, Corey. No problem, buddy. Anywho, that was weird. This week's episode of One Piece was pretty fantastic, and it solidified the fact that I love the Mink Tribe. They are probably my favorite background characters of the entire One Piece series for a number of reasons. One of the things that the One Piece series always does, and something that always kind of annoys me, is that there's always like a million people in the background of every single arc, and like 90% of the time, they're useless. All they do is cry while they get subjugated by some sort of evil force, and the Straw Hat Pirates have to come in and save the day. The Mink Tribe, in many senses, start out just like those characters, except that they display a lot of personality, and the fact that they're a combination of animals and humans makes them really interesting, and just seeing their society work just puts a big smile on my face. But despite the fact that they're so happy-go-lucky Garchu, they actually know how to kick a lot of ass as well, and when they get attacked by Jack the Drought in this week's episode, they actually stand up and fight back. And you know what? That's awesome, because all of the Mink Tribe members, the men, the women, the children, each and every member of the Mink Tribe can hold their own, as they're all proficient fighters. And that's what made this episode so fantastic. That, and we are finally introduced to Jack the Drought, who is just built up so much in this episode. It was really fantastic to finally get to see him, especially how they kept kind of like jerking us around about it. Like when he finally appears bursting through the gates, you get to see all of the shadow moving away from his body, and then they show you another big shot of his face, and it's back in shadow again, only for him to slowly walk out and you see him in all of his glory. And basically, he's just a giant woolly mammoth with Willie Nelson braids. Jack also has a number of interesting goons with some really weird names. They're divided into different groups. There's these guys which are known as the Pleasures, which are basically just these normal, like, pirate soldiers with swords and weird spiky helmets, and of course they get their asses completely smacked by the Mink Tribe. There's a great scene where there's this little boy and his mom who actually fight back against them, and the fighting choreography here is surprisingly awesome, and getting to see all, like, of the various members of the Mink Tribe being able to fight back is great, because it's not too often that I can say that I've seen a pig man punch a dude with a big electrical punch and it looked awesome. Lions, tigers, bears, oh my, freaking giraffes, deer, and they're all over the place. Even this old dude who's this monkey by the name of Monji. He's pretty freaking awesome. There's a great scene where one of the Pleasures is being electrically shocked and he's laughing like a maniac, and he starts to crawl back towards Jack, and Jack just stomps right down on top of him. This is a great way to show that Jack himself is pretty damn merciless and kind of fucked up. Jack then sends out his next group, which are known as the Gifters, and these guys are like these weird genetically engineered humans where they look human, but they have a lot of like weird animal parts which are attached to them. Like there's one guy with like a singular gorilla arm, this dude who has like these giant mouse ears, a dude with freaking crab claws. It's really strange. We got all these weird animal Frankenstein things fighting each other, and it's just plain strange. And then you have Jack, who just completely destroys everything in his wake. He is not going to take no for an answer, and he is going to completely destroy the entire island to look for Raizo the Ninja. That's the reason that they're there in the first place. In fact, his name is Jack the Drought because whenever he walks through an area, he causes so much devastation that it looked like a drought actually took place. This was a detail that I never picked up on the manga. Maybe I was just skipping around looking at the cool artwork. What I will say is, I'm definitely grooving on this story a little bit more in the anime version of One Piece. I think they're doing a fantastic job with the Mink Tribe arc. And the introduction of Jack is only the beginning. We still have a few more surprises, not to mention the way this episode ended, with Brook reminding everyone once again, do not mention the samurai. the Mink Tribe are very sensitive about all of this. As soon as he's done saying this, what does Luffy do? He brings up Raizo and Kinemon, which immediately gets Wanda's attention, and of course means we get our to be continued screen. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? This was a killer episode in my honest opinion. Not only did it shed some light on what the actual culture of the Mink Tribe is like, but we got to see Jack in all of his glory, and he is scary as shit! There's something really weird about an Ice Age elephant being on top of an even larger elephant. I don't know, it's that type of weirdness can only be pulled off in One Piece, and this arc is pretty freaking weird. Like I said earlier, it's all of these like chimera, Frankenstein, freaky animal people. And I don't know what to make of it. It's just really fun to watch, and they all have a lot of great personality, and I'm just loving this arc so far. It's great. All the background characters are probably the best things about it, too, because there's a lot of people that everybody could become attached to. I love the designs of all the individual characters. They have a lot of really funny personalities as well, and actually getting to see them fight back is definitely the icing on the cake. It shows that they're not just going to be pushovers, and that, to me, makes them my favorite background characters from the series thus far. And just the fact that I think the Mink Tribe is awesome in general. I still stand by the fact that I want Carrot to be the next Straw Hat Pirate because she's an adorable bunny girl with kick-ass abilities, and we need another female member, and she certainly is very gimmicky, and we need those type of characters. I mean, we already have a talking deer, a weird Speedo-wearing cyborg man, and a skeleton with an afro. It wouldn't seem that strange. In fact, it's kind of tame when compared to those standards. But back to the friggin' woolly mammoth. That thing was awesome. I loved seeing Jack. He's so scary and so imposing. They did a great job of making him seem so massive and destructive with everything that he did. You could tell that this story is really hurting Wanda as she's actually telling it as well. There's a lot of emotion when she was telling that story, and there's just a lot of weird moments in the episode, like at the end where Luffy was messing with the bridge when they were walking over it. He's like, haha, we could die any second! And then, of course, there's the scene at the beginning of the episode where Trafalgar Law meets up with his crew. You get him and Beppo hugging it out. Wouldn't you want to have a polar bear best friend who knew karate? So yeah, this was a pretty awesome episode of One Piece right here. I definitely enjoyed it. It had some good animation, a lot of great emotional moments, some great action, introduction to some new members of the Mink Tribe, and of course the grand introduction of Jack the freaking Drought. So I'm gonna give this episode right here a 5 out of 5. I truly loved it, and all One Piece fans should definitely check it out. But if any of you guys did watch this week's episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. I loved this episode. Did you love it too? Did you hate it? Did you have a favorite scene from this episode? What do you hope to see from the rest of the One Piece anime series? Please tell me in the comment section below. And check out my review of Rebels. You want to check out my review of Star Wars Rebels. That's a Jedi mind trick. Let's get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe, share, and like this video. I will see you guys next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby! And basically, he's just a giant woolly mammoth with Willie Nelson braids. I never thought I would say that.